The companies who resist it are most likely are going to go out of business. It's the companies that embrace it, making decisions that are going to benefit them and embrace the technology. Because the people who use the technology, like your competitor, they're going to do it faster, better, and more efficient in any business. Time is money. Listeners, I have Victor Pernvik, CEO and founder of MinCFO. Victor, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Robert.
To kick things off, could you paint a picture for our listeners of what exactly MinCFO is and what inspired you to create it?
Absolutely. So MinCFO is a accounting firm that does both accounting, but also that those types of tasks that a CFO typically does, or a controller. So we have created a system that integrates to accounting systems in Sweden. We're currently based in Sweden, but we're aiming for international scale as well. So we're visualizing the data that you have in accounting systems, both historically, and then we'll build forecasts based on that. And that's a short story of MinCFO, what it is.
Yeah, nice. You know, a lot of small to medium-sized business struggle with financial management. What are the common pain points you're seeing within the industry that these companies face that your company can solve?
Right. So our target was initially, and still is, that smaller businesses, they can't afford a full-time CFO. They might have a accounting firm that does the bare minimum of accounting, so to say. But then if they want support with creating a cash flow forecast or some deeper analysis that a CFO would do, then they can't afford to hire a CFO, and they can't really afford to, or they don't want to pay high consulting fees to get someone expert to support them with that. So then CFO does that all as a service instead, which enables scalability in the delivery, and also then a relatively price cheap service as well.
Oh, nice. Is that what you mean by modern CFO service?
Right, exactly. So instead of a person that sits ad hoc in spreadsheets, we have created a platform that summarizes the needs that smaller businesses usually struggle with. For example, cash flow forecast is one thing that many of my clients struggle with. They need to know how long are their runway, and when do they expect to be out of cash, and so they can address that issue before they arrive there.
Right.
And or other similar things that startups usually struggle with.
So looks like from the research that I've done, you emphasize a lot on automation, AI-based tools. How does this technology translate into better cash flow optimization, reporting, strategic decision-making, and what balance have you guys created between the AI-based solutions and human interaction?
So in terms of how it creates better cash flow forecasts, it's about like creating a cash flow forecast is relatively complex when you consider all the details, such as quarterly VAT payments, for example. That's a result of both accounts payable and receivables, and doing that in a spreadsheet isn't that easy. So just by creating a standard solution, that is the thing that our customers need, because there's not really any system out there, in Sweden at least, that does that in an easy way, that bases historical figures and then estimates, so this, your sales was this and your growth is this, that then it's probably going to keep in that way going forward, and then you can input small adjustments based on your personal knowledge about the business. So that's one part, and then balancing AI and the personal expertise. I think it's about letting the AI do what it does, but then you need to have someone that's experienced that can actually verify that the figures are correct and it makes sense. And if it does make sense, like 10 times in a row, then you might not need to control or ensure that figure is correct the 11th time as well. But before trusting the AI, you need to be sure that it does what you want it to.
Yeah, and I have to believe that the human component is important when you're trying to bring on new customers, new clients, right? because
Definitely, specifically in that part, people
yeah,
make business with people.
yeah, exactly. We, can't lose sight of the importance of human to human contact, right? People get a little uneasy when it's automated.
Exactly.
Most companies struggle with reporting. It's like it's a chore. It's the last thing they want to do. How does MinCFO make these essential functions more efficient rather than just a compliance task? Does your platform,
Right.
what have you created to, make the process not so chore-like and like onerous for smaller companies specifically?
It's about setting rules for how the report is built, setting up integrations, APIs through the systems where the customer is at. For example, not only accounting systems that where you have all your costs and income and your bank account statement is often integrated already in the account system, but also the CRM system, so you can see how many customers do you have in the pipeline, how many days are they usually there, what's your churn rate, what's the cost of a new customer, etc. All of those different KPIs that usually takes quite a lot of time to manually input because they're scattered in different systems. Having that in one platform, that's what we're bringing to the table. So people don't need to feel like no, it's that day of the month where I need to fix that report or input a lot of data into a spreadsheet, and then those pivot tables are updated. Instead of doing that, it's just there for you. You don't need to do
So it's
anything.
kind of like, it's kind of one-stop shop, right? They're going to a platform that has all the information they need, as opposed to having to go to multiple different places to get the answers they need.
Exactly. Right.
That's great. And then the other thing that was interesting to me, and you don't see this that often, is your subscription-based pricing. That's a different model. You don't see that. Most accounting or partial CFO or accounting-based services
or
the
self-SaaS.
Are billed based off an hourly rate.
Right, and that causes a lot of risk for the customer, as they don't know, okay, why was it more expensive this year than last year, and they can't project the exact cost for something. So then we have that as a service that we offer our customer. Cost is also incentivizes for us to automate things and make them more efficient instead of spend more hours on the delivery, as many other in this industry. They don't have any intention to decrease the hours or be more efficient, unless they just keep the hours to the customer bill, but then they actually spend less time. So how we do that is just by, I think more other firms could do it as well if they would like to, but they feel like it's a risk for them to have a fixed price, but we're willing to take that risk to attract more customers. It's just that part, I think. Also, you can of course adjust the price in a half year if you realize that, okay, this was a bit off, and that's always possible.
No, it seems like it shifts the focus from managing the hourly rate to performance, right? So the customer knows going in what he's going to pay month to month, which is, that's comforting unto itself. And then it just turns the entire process into performance-based results, which is great.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. We're we want to have incentives to become more efficient, not the other way.
Right. No, that's great. As a CEO and co-founder, what's your long-term vision? Where do you see yourself going, say in the next year, 2 years, 3 years?
I think that there is not any work that or job that could be more self-developing than being a co-founder. So this has always been my ambition and dream, and being here, I don't really see myself doing something else than keep on doing this for the future. Yeah, I don't see any more self-fulfilling job than hosting your own company. So just developing this is my ambition and goal for the upcoming years. But if you would think of a time after MinCFO, I think it's a common thing for founders that they just see this roadmap of building this company, and then they after doing that, after 1 year or 20 years, no matter the time it's quite common to be a bit lost once you're done. Once you're done that exit, once you sort of made it, and I guess I'm one of those that just do what I like right now, and I'll see what I do later.
Yeah, exactly. As it relates to the company, MinCFO, and we're in the ground floor of AI, which is really going to be the biggest technological boom the world's ever seen by far. Where do you see with this technology? Do you see changes in how MinCFO is going to operate going forward? Do you see you having to? I mean, obviously, you're ahead of the curve today, right? You're at the forefront of accounting services and what you offer, which is fantastic. And it's only going to catapult from there with the technology. How do you see your vision changing? Do you see, obviously, there's going to be improvements to your platform. Do you feel the pressure of staying ahead of the industry, staying on par with the technology? Do you see the technology changing, or do you think you've got it?
I think that just by having the ambition and doing all you can to be at the forefront in this industry will keep you relevant. At least you're not one of the dinosaurs that keep on every year just delivering human hours without any progress in terms of technology.
Right.
So they are the ones that definitely should be like anxious, so to say, about their job. But by ensuring that you use AI as much as possible and use the latest tools, and or even be the creator of that latest tools, I think I think you're well.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I think, we see, as your parents, your grandparents, right? You see that how technology, especially in the 90s, where we had the dot-coms that really kind of catapulted, kind of immersed technology into our lifestyles over a period of time. And you see, as people get older, they started becoming not relevant. Became the technology was too much with the using the iPhones and the ATM machines and the computer. With AI, that's only going to happen much faster, right? As we get people who resist it, aren't open to what it has to offer. I mean, it's here and it's here to stay. And that goes not only hand in hand with individuals and families and such, it's have a bigger impact on companies, I think. The companies who resist it are most likely are going to go out of business, right?
Definitely.
It's the companies that embrace it and want to learn about it those are the companies that are going to start making decisions that are going to benefit them and embrace the technology. Because the people who use the technology, like your competitor, they're going to do it faster, better, and more efficient. Time is money, just in any business, and that's just going to be the byproduct of people who resist the AI
either
boom.
you're right. Either you're still relevant just because trying to use AI, etc. As I said, but on the other hand, it's obviously not a guarantee for it. Like it might as well just be someone that does something 1,000 times better than everybody else with the help from AI, possibly. But of course it's from case to case. But at least trying and like desperately trying to make use of AI as much as possible. It's definitely something that you need to in order to stay relevant, especially in the SaaS business.
For smaller, medium-sized business owners listening today who might be a little overwhelmed by their finances, what's the single most important piece of advice you can offer them?
I think that having clarity in your finances is a way of not being for a potential scenario going forward, because by having a clarity of, okay, so historically we had these costs and we had this income, like presuming that the same stays will keep on going the coming months, then you can start scenario planning. And that's something that has helped my customers a lot, because some of them have had problems sleeping just because they have issues about, will I be able to pay my employees' salaries in the upcoming 3 months, maybe?
Yeah.
And just by providing them that those insights regarding that the issue wasn't really there, it was just in their heads. That's the main advice I'd say. Get yourself clarity in the finances.
Yeah, I think a lot of small businesses in the world today, they focus on their product, right? They focus on their service, and they leave the financial end of it second. And
Right.
ultimately, what you have in second place being the finances that really are, in your mind, you're treating it as less important, is really the catalyst that ruins companies. That clarity is so important. How can someone make a business decision not knowing where their finances are, right? They're just
Right.
making it blind, and it's just
Exactly. I totally understand that you focus on your product. It's the correct way to go, but you can't just ignore the financial aspect of it.
right.
An enabler to create that product.
I think you've done an amazing thing. You've built a platform that's a one-stop shop, that's not as onerous and as most other platforms are. You've clarified the cost, so we're not guessing from month to month. I think
Right.
you streamlined the process. You've made it easy, and that's going to really benefit people, and it's going to allow them to start maybe focusing on their finances more, because it's an easy task. Not everyone's good at math. Not everyone's good at accounting, right? We have writers in
Exactly.
the world. We have construction people in the world. We have a whole vast of different talents
People
people
that doesn't
out.
understand finances and they're better
Right.
at the product, and then they should focus on their product instead of sitting in spreadsheets
Exactly.
and guessing.
Yeah. No, you're going down the right path if you ask me. So I think that's great. And I
Thank you.
congratulate you for that.
Thanks as
I
well.
really do. Is there anything else you want to tell the listeners about MinCFO that maybe we haven't touched on? Or
Well, I think that we have a quite international listener base in this podcast, and I mentioned that we're a Swedish-based company, but please follow us on LinkedIn, because we're planning to go international by like in the upcoming months, definitely. So please follow MinCFO at LinkedIn. Min, it's a bad name in terms of English. Min, it means my CFO, but MINCFO.
yeah. Yeah.
And and I'll keep you posted on any updates there.
All right, that's awesome. Well, I want to thank you for joining. It was a great conversation. I'm sure our listeners are going to walk away with a lot of insights.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.